I hated gardening before I ever got into aquaponics, and the truth of it being is I never had a garden until I started in aquaponics. So it's a, kind of changed my outlook on things, or where some of my foods come from anyway. Aquaponics is raising fish for the nutrients that they provide, which is their waste products, which bacteria turns into the ammonias into nitrites, and then nitrates by another bacteria, which is nitrates are a usable nitrogen source for plants to grow with. Worms in the bed take care of a lot of your solids that you put in your medium beds, so it turns that into usable micronutrients right off the bat. So it all cycles through, the water goes through the fish tanks, and it cycles into your bed. Your plants, actually, roots pick up all your nutrients in the water, which is cleaning your water, and it goes back to your fish cleaned. So they're your little filter system and your biofilter that turns it into the usable nitrogen source for plants to grow with. No soils, no chemicals. These are some of my holding tanks. These are kind of set up separate breeder tanks, so the containment on it is insulated. That way I can control the heat and the cold, as far as year-round, of what I'm getting with my fish themselves. It's about 1,000 gallons of water flows through these 3 IBCs, and then a filtration system, swirl filter, and a basic sump to pump it back up into the system, the water. So that's literally where we breed fish in one, and we raise fry in another one, and we sell out of another one. Is basically how it works. To filter the water, then we use the medium beds. I use a gravel here in this bed, and literally to grow whatever we want to grow. Lots of peppers, which need to be harvested. Basils, strawberries, chili petines, Swiss chard. I think there's, I've got eggplant in here, things like that. You can grow pretty near anything. Root crops don't do as well in these beds. Like, the only root crop really I'm referring to is potatoes, basically. Don't do a very good job in aquaponics, although there are ways of growing them with fish water also, so, but basically the nutrient source goes through the bed from the fish water. It's turned into nitrites again in the bed, and then the nitrates, and then plants absorb it up, clean the water. It flows back into the sump and goes back to our fish tanks and back through the cycle. This is a closed system. You save about 90% of the water on a comparable sized bed. This bed's about 15 feet long by 4 feet wide. So what it would take to grow in this bed, you would use in the ground per se, would use 90% more water to grow that, and you would actually, with the density that you can plant in a bed like this, is so much closer, as you see, that nothing competes for the nutrients. Everything's delivered to it with aquaponics. There's no competition with root systems. You can pack it in there and have your beds overflowing, but it's about probably 4 times the space. Picking strawberries on February 13th. So it really speeds up a lot of things here.